In the U.S. Open Cup, as we know, anything can happen. And that was the case last night between the New York Red Bulls and NYCFC in the quarterfinals at Red Bull Arena. Myself, I was there. Keenan and Troy was there. Final score 3-0 Red Bulls. And Keenan, it was a testy affair. It was feisty. We had 3 red cards, a lot of yellow cards. Just what'd you make of the general sort of atmosphere that this cup match had?
Well, I think, Nick, I tweeted it out. It was my first time back at a soccer-specific stadium since my days going to Chicago Fire games as a fan back at Toyota Park. And since then, I had been to, numerous Yankees games through WFUV, a Chicago Fire game at home at Soldier Field. But being back in a soccer-specific ground, there's something about that atmosphere. Obviously, a New York derby, everyone getting up for it. You knew tempers were going to be hot coming in, especially with Nick Cushing just taking over the NYCFC job. It was a tough ask for him, and that's where I want to start, because after giving up the clean sheet record that was going on for over 500 minutes in all competitions and a 2-2 draw last Sunday to the Colorado Rapids at home, I was wondering how the NYCFC would respond. And, it was a lineup that didn't feature Sean Johnson, and credit to Barraza for playing really strong in net. He obviously had a mistake that didn't end up in the third goal, but eventually they got the third goal on that misjudged cross. But it was a lineup that Cushing rolled out that you felt was something that you could expect, if Sean Johnson is included on any match day in the MLS. So seeing that team news from both sides, pretty strong 11s. I knew that it was a game in which, obviously both teams wanted to win to advance into the semifinals of the Open Cup, but more importantly, wanted to have a strong showing against their rivals. And from the get-go, it was hard, physical soccer. Keaton Parks picks up a yellow card in the 15th minute for a hard challenge. And I felt like that just opened a can of worms for this match, because challenges were flying in fast and hard. Obviously that critical red card from Thiago in the 60th minute, right before he's about to be subbed off. It was a game that, had a lot of buildup, and I felt that it met the billing 10 times over.
And it was a somewhat quiet first half in terms of attacking play. Not a ton of clear-cut chances. I would say probably the best chance of the first half went to the Red Bulls with Christian Cáceres, who found some space inside the box and his shot was saved. Then the second half, things started to open up. The Red Bulls scored their first from Lewis Morgan off a set piece, beautifully worked. Tom Edwards to the back post. Aaron Long with the header down and Morgan with the finish. Then the Thiago red card, as we discussed. And then Luquinhas in the 70th minute. Patrick Klimala couldn't quite finish his chance. Luquinhas, who's been in excellent form for this Red Bulls team, was there for the rebound. And then it was Omir Fernandez off a cross from Cam Harper to seal the deal in the 91st minute. Keenan, in the post-game presser, some NYCFC players and coaches were talking about how they thought 3-0 was a harsh scoreline. I myself don't think I really agree. I think NYCFC was they were very lackluster in the second half. The red card was just kind of the cherry on top. I don't know what your take is on that. Do you think 3-0 was harsh? Do you think 3-0 is kind of speaks to how this game played?
Well, I think, the first goal for Red Bulls was, I don't want to say a long time coming, but Nick, you said to me in the press section at Red Bull Arena, this is counterattacking football at its finest. And, 2 of those goals coming off set pieces. Second one from Luquinhas, that was a foul committed by Maxi Morales right in front of us, which I didn't think was a foul. And lo and behold, it ends up into a Red Bulls chance and a Red Bulls goal. But I think as soon as NYCFC went down to 10 men, it was going to be a question of, for me at least, watching the game, it was either going to be they somehow claw their way back into this, or 3-0 is a scoreline you can expect just the way they play high press soccer. They're going to be susceptible on the counterattack. So I understand that, maybe Nick Cushing and some of the NYCFC guys thought that 3-0 wasn't a scoreline that reflected the effort out there. I don't think it reflected the effort, but I think the game started to slip away from them, especially after Thiago was sent off. And, it looked like Aaron Long and this center back trio for New York Red Bulls knew what they were getting in Tati Castellanos. He was relatively a non-factor. It looked at the start of the second half that he was picking it up. He had a shot on goal within the first 5 minutes, and then, had a look or two in which he couldn't generate a shot or put one on frame. But I think 3-0 was a scoreline that you go back, you read the match notes, you watch the highlights. It was a scoreline that reflected a really strong performance from New York Red Bulls, and, knew how well NYCFC was playing coming into this match, and seemed to use everything that Nick Cushing hoped for his side to use in their favor. They used it exactly against them, waiting for their opportunities to strike and then doing so, and, making no mistake about it.
And it seemed almost like a team-wide effort from the Red Bulls, maybe if you could say that, to get under New York City's skin, get in their heads. And I thought, player like Tom Edwards, who stupidly was sent off in the 96th minute after the game was over, he'll miss the semifinal. But it seemed like a lot of these Red Bulls, whether it was Edwards, whether it was Barlow, these guys were getting under the skin of these NYCFC players. And I'm curious about, this is a team who just won MLS Cup, who has gone through a coaching change, but is still in the top of the East in a very good spot. You think there's any rhyme or reason as to how or why the Red Bulls seem to be so successful at kind of getting at NYCFC and just being annoying, really?
Well, I think we saw it from the start, and, that Keaton Parks yellow card coming in the 15th minute, Santiago Morales going in the book in the 18th minute for dissent to the referee, which, say what you want about the referee. I thought he was really soft this match, and, for lack of a better term, not too good. But putting that aside, I think, again, credit to the Red Bulls. They knew how, this well-oiled machine that is NYCFC likes to play. They were dominant in possession, over 65%. But at the end of the day, Red Bulls seemed committed to sit in, their defensive third, allow pressure to come, not be broken at their back line. And then it ends up in frustration for NYCFC. And then, the challenges come in hot. And I think especially after Red Bulls scored that first goal, they upped the ante in terms of not backing down. And, with that red card issued to Thiago, it was said that all that sparked that headbutt interaction was saying, "What's up, bro?" And then Thiago seemingly going off the rails because of that. But I think, Red Bull sat in well, allowed the waves of NYCFC pressures to come. And it was definitely apparent on the field, especially when they went down to 10 men and then when they were trailing 2-0, there was tensions growing amongst NYCFC players between themselves. And I think Nick Cushing did a really good job keeping that under control. There's times where Tati Castellanos looked frustrated because the service wasn't what he wanted, but that's all credit to Red Bulls. And so they were able to get under NYCFC's skin just because they played their scheme extremely well and didn't offer anything towards goal for NYCFC. And, when that's the case, as we see time and time again in soccer matches, no matter the competition, no matter the league, when you feel like you're the dominant team, but you can't get anything going towards goal, there's some level of frustration that grows towards the other side. And, the Red Bulls, I think, did a really good job of getting under NYCFC's skin, but never putting themselves in a position of jeopardy where, they're going to get booked or, get in trouble with the referee to any extent.
These teams will not have to wait too long to meet again. July 17th at Red Bull Arena. Once again, the Hudson River Derby will be happening. It's set to be probably an even more testy affair than this one was, considering everything that happened in this game. But in the meantime, the Red Bulls this weekend, Sunday, are on the road against LAFC and will prove to be a very tough test for them. NYCFC similarly are on the road to the Philadelphia Union, also on Sunday. Final score from Red Bull Arena in the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Cup: New York Red Bulls 3, NYCFC 0. The Red Bulls are through to the semifinals. For WFUV Sports, I'm Nick Guzman. This is Keenan Troy. Thank you so much for tuning in.